Hello everyone. Am I audible? Can I see some reactions? If I am audible, so we can start. Perfect. I think we are right on time, and thank you so much everyone for joining this webinar. We are back with another insightful webinar. Last time we did the webinar on Cloudflare, and the purpose of this webinar is to educate our customers and to keep them informed about the new updates that we are doing on Cloudways. So today's webinar is based on the site manager. So let me build a context first. So Cloudways Safe Update has played a critical role in helping customers when they want to update the WordPress sites. So for the site manager, we launched this product for the people who want to do the updates in a bulk manner. So they can manage their multiple websites, either they are developer, either they are agencies. So after the feedback from the customers, we improvise the product and release a new product that is called Site Manager. And it is for the developers, for the agencies who are dealing with multiple websites. So today's webinar is all about Site Manager, how you can use it. We will share the demo with you. We will discuss the feature. And at the end, we will have a Q&A session. So it is your time to ask the questions. The comment section is open for all. Please share your questions. We have the product manager, Saud Khan, with us. So Saud will walk you through this with Site Manager, how it works, what are the features and all the details. Once we are done with the presentation, we can take your questions and give you the answers. So feel free to share the questions. We love the questions and we will try to answer each and every question. So without any further ado, as we are on time, we can start the presentation. And I am giving the floor to Saud Khan. Saud is a product manager. So Saud, the floor is yours. Please introduce yourself and start the presentation.
So, hi guys, this is Saud Khan, Senior Product Manager at Cloudways. I'll go ahead with a little introduction. So, I have been trying my best to build features and products that works out for customers and the features that customers actually love. So, we'll proceed with the demo session without wasting our time because there's a lot of work to cover, and we are short on time in particular. So let's see. So before we jump into Cloudways Site Manager, let's talk about what life looks like without it in particular. So if you're managing WordPress sites today, chances are that your week looks something like this. You log into the WordPress admin of each site one by one, manually check for plugin updates, you update them, and whether the updates are automatic updates, there are chances that the updates might break your site. And sometimes it does. A plugin update silently break a page, a checkout stops working, and now you're firefighting instead of building. So then there's a security risk. Outdated plugins are the numbers one entry point for WordPress attacks. Every day you delay an update is a window left open for the hackers, especially in this AI era. And the real cost, all the maintenance time is like that. Maintenance time is the time you're not spending or growing your business, pitching clients, or doing work that actually move the needle for you. Whereas you are just occupied in the maintenance work, you are trying to manage your applications, you are trying not to break the sites, the work, whatever the work you do. So this is exactly the problem Site Manager was built to solve in particular. So we proceed further with what is Site Manager in actual. It's a powerful Cloudways add-on that gives you full WordPress management control without ever logging into WordPress admin. You can perform actions directly through Cloudways platform through Site Manager, and it comes with a handful of features, including auto updates. Like set of auto updates includes quick updates, safe updates, when you guys should use each one of them. How you guys can manage plugins and themes and bulks. And other than that, the main important thing is the centralized dashboard where you see all the WordPress sites on Site Manager at a glance, and you can perform operations and you can have a quick view of the performance of your sites, how many plugin updates are there, how many theme updates are there, how you guys can manage like the history detailed insights as well, like if the updates failed, so what was the error in particular, or the successful updates, like how many applications were updated successfully through the centralized dashboard. So we'll cover all these things one by one, but let's clear the agenda today. What you'll learn is particularly the difference between quick updates versus safe updates, when you guys should want when to use each one of them, uh, which one is risky, which one is not, how you guys can schedule auto updates, how you guys can manage plugin and themes, and perform admin tasks that you do on WordPress admin section without logging into the WordPress. You guys will be able to see the page insights and core web vitals of your websites. Other than that, the centralized dashboard, all at a glance. So before we move forward with the demo session or the presentation stuff, uh, I just want you guys to keep in mind the differences between the quick update, safe update, and what safe update through Site Manager actually does and how it works in the background. So you'll have an idea when we go into the demo session. So you will be able to see, okay, these are the steps that were occurred behind the screen. Uh, so you'll have a know-how about that. So quick update is basically the same as WordPress admin thing. You can instantly update your plugin. You will be able to see the list of plugin updates, the versions they are currently on, the versions they have to be updated upon. So quick update can be useful for the staging sites or the low risk sites, basically, where you want to move forward with faster approach. So then you can use quick updates. But quick updates doesn't have any verification step or validations in between it. It's just like the WordPress admin thing. Uh, you go ahead with a plugin, you update it's been updated right on production right away. So it is ideal for simple and maintenance and everyday admin tasks for low critical sites like WordPress blogs or static pages. Other apart from that, safe update comes with pre-validation checks. What safe update does in the background is that it captures a pre-snapshot of your website. It clones that site into a temporary staging environment, and then it performs the plugin and themes update on that temporary staging environment, and then it takes a post snapshot of your website pages. It compares them through AI visual regression testing. If there's no difference between the pre-snapshot page and the post-snapshot page, then Safe Updates take a decision whether to deploy this update into the production. If there's any differences in the page areas of your website, then it auto aborts the operation. Basically, being being on the staging side, it performs all the operation. If it's find out like there's any issue with the plugin updates, it automatically rollbacks the staging environment. It does not apply the updates onto the production directly. If the comparison between the pages is 100% successful, there's no 0% difference within the pages, then it passes the update into the production right away. It's recommended for business critical websites, obviously, and WooCommerce stores, agency workflows, and client websites that you are managing for your customers. So I've already covered this. There are three steps in particular for safe updates. It detects the updates automatically. It tests into the staging environment, validated through the pre and post snapshots, do the visual regression cycle, and then takes a decision to deploy and roll back. Now let's proceed further without wasting our time with the centralized dashboard thing. The centralized dashboard is the one where you will be able to see the status of all your websites that are on Site Manager, how many pending updates of the websites are there, detailed history insights of your updates, and performance score. like the web vitals of your site speed. So let's proceed with the demo session. All right. So if I am on Cloudways platform, I can directly go into the integrations page. Here you guys can see the site manager is there. You can simply click on it and you will be able to see the site manager dashboard. I already have some applications subscribed to my platform right now, but you guys can obviously go ahead and subscribe the site manager add-on through add apps section. You can add multiple applications in this add-on. Like there are two applications here showing it to me that are not on Site Manager right now. I can select one or in bulk or select all applications, and I can go ahead with further in choosing my plan. There are two plans that we are offering right now, and we'll cover this up in the last as well, what basic versus free tier, basic uh, tier is about and what the pro tier offers for the Site Manager add-on. And I can simply click on it and this will enable my site manager on my websites. It will install the plugin of Cloudways Site Manager. It will sync your website's data, all the plugins, themes, and the updates, and it will show you guys on these screens uh, the real-time uh, real-time visibility of the plugins and themes in particular. So let's cover the dashboard area first. So with Cloudways Site Manager within the platform, there are two areas where you guys can use Site Manager in particular. One is for the individual sites, where you want to update one website or you want to update settings of one website. There's individual area for the Site Manager, and then there comes in centralized dashboard for all your WordPress sites. And this is how it looks like. So you have an overview of your sites, how many apps are total apps are on Site Manager, how many apps are on free plan, and how many are on pro plan, and how many applications are scheduled with auto updates. Then you have the list of these applications in here. You have the number of updates, like 3 plugin updates are to be highlighted, like there are 3 plugins that requires an update. And then there comes in performance score of your website, like if what's the performance score in actual, and the core web vitals can be seen through I can simply click on it and it will show me the next plugin updates as well. Like for this application, you guys can see Elementor and Breeze are the ones that requires an update. I can go ahead and manage updates right away, or I can schedule it. Like you guys can see that next auto schedule is already there for these updates. So when the auto update cycle runs, these plugins will be updated in the background. Also, you can perform some actions. You can select your applications. You can choose an action right here, like you want to enable activity logs, you want to disable activity logs. This is for the site manager feature in actual right now. But the main thing about the site manager dashboard is that you can schedule auto updates like in bulk for all your applications. Like let's say I have multiple applications in here. I want to schedule an update. I can select all my application or select individual ones, whichever I want to select. I can change my schedule time, click on apply, and there's the list of my applications. I can select a time period, basically within a week, where the update should run. This is the number of days, and you can obviously select from the 4 slots are available right now on Site Manager, where you can align a slot where whenever updates needs to be run, and that will basically respect your timeline, and the updates will only be run in this time slot, whatever you select. I can go ahead and update my schedule time, and this will update my auto updates schedule time right away. One more thing is that what I can do, let me select another application. One more thing is that if I choose bulk plugin and themes for the auto updates, I can manually skip my plugins and themes that I do not want to update manually, because there are some plugins and themes on the premium, like premium themes and premium plugins that might create some faultness or that might be faulty or that do not get updated right away with the auto update. So you guys can manually go ahead and uncheck those plugins and themes right away. Other than that, you can select the difference between like which update type you want to select, whether you want to go ahead with quick update or you want to go ahead with safe update. If you are on pro plan, obviously we would recommend to go ahead with safe updates whenever you are scheduling your auto updates, because this doesn't take your time, and in the time slot it will automatically be applied in the background whenever like the times is scheduled to be updated for the auto updates. So the quick updates is basically supported for the on-demand actions where you want to update, like you are working on a website or you are working on multiple websites and you want to update those plugins right away, then you can select quick update option and run the on-demand updates as well uh, through a separate screen. So this is how the auto updates schedule work. And then we have some manage updates area where you guys can manage plugins and themes in bulk. You guys can manage them on demand right away. Like let's say these are the plugins that wants to be updated and it shows me how many like on which applications these are particularly on. So if you see there's a breeze, I can see in the drop down how many applications are there that requires an update for the breeze plugin. I can simply click all the applications. I can deselect few applications, and then I can also select like multiple plugins at a time. So this is how it will be done. So I have like a demo already like a recorded session for this because it do takes time if we demand on demand update. So let me share this tab instead. So this is how you will be able to manage updates that I've already covered. You guys can select Breeze. You guys can select your applications, whether you want to select like individual applications or all of them. You guys can later on click the update section. So in this, let me show this way. Once I click on the update area, this will let me know which preferred update mode I want to select. And this will show me the list of applications that I've selected previously. So I have chosen in this screen the safe update mode, and I have clicked on the safe update, and this will initiate the operation on my applications. And this will let me know how many, like once the update is completed, how many applications have successfully been updated right away and how many applications have been failed. So if I go back and check my history tab instead, once the updates are completed, it will let me know that I performed an on-demand operation. It will let me know how many of my applications failed in particular, and it will let me know how many schedule like on-demand updates were successful. So here you can see this for this application, my on-demand update was failed because the web stack of my server was currently down in this timeline. By web stack, I mean MySQL could be down, my Nginx could be down. So we have a pre-check already defined. If there's any web stack services there like that are creating friction point or that are facing issues within your application or server, so we do not perform updates on that because it might like put load on your applications or on your servers as well. So if I go ahead and see the plugin was updated on this application successfully, I can simply go ahead and click on the details overview tab. And this will give me a detailed insights that because I selected a safe update environment, so it created a staging environment first. It took a pre-snapshot, fetched the plugin update, updated the plugin, and then it took a post snapshot, and then it performed the visual regression testing. Because within visual regression testing, what it did is that it basically compared the pre-snapshot of my website page and post-snapshot of my website page. If there's no difference, the visual regression cycle is passed, and then it's rolled out into production right away. If you click on the see details area, you guys will be able to see the visual regression testing pages like pre-snapshot and the post-snapshot. This safe update took a before a snapshot and after a snapshot, and when it didn't find any difference, like there was a difference of 0%, so it passed the visual regression cycle, and that step was completed successfully. Other than that, let me show you guys an update that could actually have broken my website's layout. So this is the website where the on-demand plugin update was failed. And you guys can clearly see that this update could have broken your website's layout, and we got it on time. If you click on the view details area of this application, you will be able to see the visual regression was failed in this section. So if I click on the see details area, uh, there are 3 pages that I've defined in visual regression cycle that needs to be updated in auto update cycle. So it checks on the main page. It found no difference on that main page. And then there was a blog on my website where it found a percentage difference of 2.86. And then you guys can see on the other page or the contact page of my website, there was a difference of 17.67 percentage. So the update was failed because it could have broken my website's layout or something other, or like the images could have been broken as well. There are certain areas where updates do fail, and it lets us know the in the before and after snapshot and the difference of this snapshot. You guys can zoom in as well. Which of the areas are highlighted in this the difference was highlighted in particular, and where the update was failed. So this is how the plugin update with safe updates work, uh, with on demand as well and with auto updates as well. For the auto updates, it do performs the operation in the background, but you will be able to see the scheduled updates timeline in the history tab as well. I can go ahead and let's select auto schedule updates. This will show me the schedule update cycle, how many applications were successful, how many applications failed. On this date, like on 5th June, my auto schedule was of the plugin and themes was supposed to be rolled out into the production. So this is the detailed history insights of all your applications. Like let's say for this application, my updates package was not available, verify license and try again. So let's see the view detail area. In this section, you guys are seeing that 3 of the plugins failed because they were facing an issue of license within themselves. They are premium plugins. Those, if on the WordPress org, their update file is not defined correctly, or if there's licensing issue, if the license has been expired. So it do fetches that data, safe update, and it because there's no license key, or it might be possible there's no zip file available for for that plugin update, so it fails those plugins. And in the end, auto updates fails right now. One good thing is that will not be covering in this session, of course, but we are building it right now. That will be available next week. Moving onwards, what we'll be doing is that if there's any faulty plugin or any faulty theme in your website that breaks the safe updates of auto updates of your application. So in that case, what we'll be doing is that in case if visual regression cycle is passed, we'll ignore that plugin or theme. We'll mark the update as partial success, and we'll successfully complete the updates on the other plugin and themes that were not faulty and that were updated successfully in the auto update cycle. So this feature will be available by next week for you guys. And you guys can, of course, there's one more feature upcoming ahead that will be in which you will be able to define the percentages differences. Like let's say currently, uh, it's set to the critical, like visual regression cycle thing. If there's 0% difference, then only the safe update is passed. If there's even 0.1 difference or 1% of difference in your pre and post snapshot, the update will fail eventually. So we'll be giving you guys an option by next week. It will be rolled out into the production where you guys can, if you think like, if you guys can bear up to 5% difference of your website pages, let's say, or 1% difference of your websites, then you guys can select an option up to 1%, up to 5%, up to 10% for the low critical sites that will pass the updates eventually. So these two features will be rolled out into the production next week. So right now we can't cover them up because they are not on production. But other than that, let's proceed further with the other areas. Give me a moment, guys. So from the dashboard, I can go ahead into my one particular application as well. If I click on view details, this will land me to my one particular application. The dashboard part is covered as of now. Now let's proceed further with the individual actions that you guys can perform through for one particular application. Let's say, let me select some application that has Pro enabled on the website. Mm, So in the applications area, access details, you will be able to find the site manager add-on. You guys can enable, like, subscribe to the add-on from this section as well. The add-on is already subscribed in this application and the site manager pro is there. So you guys will be able to see how many plugins and themes are there in your application, how many themes are there, how many user roles are there, and what's the WordPress current core version that your website is on. And then there comes an application performance area where it is mentioned the site performance. If you click on view details, you'll be able to see the core web vitals of your site, the diagnostics. So you guys can see if you guys want to improve the website performance, which areas you need to look into. So this is the site performance area, and then there comes an activity logs where you guys will be able to see the activity logs of all the actions performed on this application. Let's go further with the plugin themes and users management. So you guys can obviously do these action on the WordPress admin as well, but through Site Manager, what you guys can do is that you guys can avail the opportunity to use safe operation feature. Like just like the safe update thing, you guys can use safe operation. I want to update my plugins and themes. I'm seeing plugins and themes of my website, and I can see the updates are available for these plugin, let's say Breeze plugin. I can select quick update and safe update operation right away and proceed with it. Let me show you guys an example through a recording. Just give me a moment. How the safe operation is work, basically done. So I can activate my plugins and themes. I can perform bulk actions in this section. I can activate, deactivate, update my plugins and delete my plugins. Also, majorly, I can install my plugins as well. I can upload a custom plugin through the upload section above, and I can basically, what I can do is that I can install a plugin using the safe install feature as well. Here I have used safe install feature, and you guys will be able to see how it proceeded further. So I installed a Yoast SEO plugin. And then when it fetched all the information, it created a staging website. It took a pre-snapshot of that website. Basically, what this feature will do is that it will create a backup. You guys can say that it's a snapshot on a staging environment. That will be temporary environment. And then it will install the plugin. It will take a post snapshot, and then it will see the difference between the website's layout, and then it will push the update into like it will install the plugin into production right away. Mm, Here you guys can see that on the production, since the VRT was passed, visual regression testing basically, so the update was successful and it installed the plugin on my site. And you guys can see directly through the platform, like the plugin is installed, whether or not. So the plugin is installed, but it's in inactive state. So if you want to activate the plugin, and also if you're like not sure that whether the activating this plugin would break your website, again, you can use quick activate or safe update, whether depending upon the nature of your application. Here I have used safe activate option and proceeded further with activating my site. So what it did is that it again took my pre-snapshot of my site, and then it activated my plugin, and finally the visual regression cycle was passed for this plugin, and it just activated my plugin into the production using the safe update feature. So this is how you can perform several actions using this tab. You can do the same with the themes as well. We won't cover this in this section because we have already covered. The process will be the same. If I activate one of my applications, I can select quick say activate or safe activate. I can proceed with the themes. Also, with the user management role, I can define the users. I can update the user roles. I can change password directly through Cloudways dashboard. I can delete one particular user. I can log in into the WordPress SSO directly. Like let's say if I try to add a user, I can define the role. It's just the same as we do right now on WordPress admin. So I can add a user directly onto from my Cloudways dashboard without logging into my platform. So this will take a bit. Oops, I guess the user wasn't added. So let's proceed further. We are short on time, obviously. Uh, there's one more thing is that I have seen in the chat section as well. How many pages can we cover? So there's an auto update section within the individual sites as well, where you guys can update the time that you want to update your application upon, set the automatic schedule. You guys can manage updates, which plugins and themes you guys want to update in the auto update, scheduled auto updates particularly. You guys can select or you guys can select individual plugins and save your configuration. You guys can obviously select the quick update and safe update mode. And also the critical updates is the main thing. That is basically like if there's any identified vulnerability defined in your plugin. So if site manager grabs that, it finds out like, okay, there's a plugin in your website that requires an update because it's vulnerable. So if you guys have enabled this option, by default, this option is disabled. But if you guys enable this option, it will quickly, whenever the vulnerability is defined or identified, this will right away update that plugin in particular that has a vulnerability. It won't wait for the auto schedule updates to be performed. So this way, your websites will be like 100% secure. There won't be security risk or the for the plugins and themes if you enable this feature. Other than that, you have a visual regression cycle where you guys can add multiple pages. You guys can add up to 5 pages for the visual regression cycle. So whenever the auto update is run or whenever the on-demand update is run, so these pages of your website will be taken care of. VRT, basically visual regression testing, will perform all the pre-snapshot, post-snapshot checks on all these pages, URLs that you have defined in this area. And like, let's say I can define, I can proceed directly with that. So right now this page is not part of, so it has failed. So it will also check for the, like, there are checks defined. So the page you are defining, the URL you are defining in this area should be on the websites and should be live for that particular website. So you guys can add some like up to 5 pages. By default, it's set to the homepage only. And apart from homepage, I'm talking about apart from homepage, there are additional 5 pages that you guys can implement through visual regression cycle. And then there comes the notification part where you guys can receive notification over your emails. You can add up to 4 emails where you want to receive notification of the updates, like the successful updates, the failed updates, the pre-notification that, okay, this time on this time, after 24 hours, your updates on the website will run, and which of the websites were successfully updated, which of the websites were aborted through like failures. So you guys can go ahead and later on see the history tab as well, like what's the particular reason this update failed. So in this case, my update failed because there were visual regression difference. Here you can see the difference of 2.86% and 17.6% in this website. So I guess we have covered pretty much. Let's go ahead with the activity logs as well. So you will be able to see the activity logs performed through the action, like which username performed this action, through which IP and country the user actions were performed, and the details like the plugin was updated, what action was performed on this website, so and their status as well. And these activity logs are up to like you can audit it up to 3 months. For the 3 months, we'll be having activity logs within your account, of course. And after the 3 months, the previous logs will be truncated further. So this is how the Cloudways Site Manager works in particular. If Now let's proceed with the pricing plans. So Site Manager plan has basically basic plan and a pro plan. Basic comes with a free plan. Obviously, it has a site overview. You guys can manage your users, themes, and plugins also in bulk. But there's only quick updates option available on the free plan. You cannot use the safe update modes, or you cannot use the auto updates within the free plan. But you guys can obviously use you guys can still manage your plugin and themes. If you want to be on the free version, your websites are not that much critical, your websites are just staging environments or basic websites, then obviously you guys can go ahead with basic. But we would recommend for the business critical websites, for the WooCommerce websites, for the websites that, like, if you're an agency, you are managing multiple clients, so it's recommended to have a Site Manager Pro feature that comes with safe updates, schedule auto updates, site performance monitoring, and uh, detailed history insights, basically. So this is it. The demo we have covered pretty much in this area, and we can proceed further with this with the
Uh,
questions now.
so thank you so much, Saud, for the insightful session, and thank you so much for covering the site manager and how our users can use it. Let's quickly jump on a Q&A session without wasting any time. So the Tim is asking, does it just take a snapshot of the homepage, or does it do multiple pages? I think, so you already covered this question,
Yeah.
so we can jump on the second one. So the second question is it possible to have a standardized list of plugin? So every time you add a new app, you can automatically install the set list of plugin with one click, for example, Yoast, HFCM, etc.
So right now, how Site Manager works is that whenever you add a new application, it doesn't support like you if you want to add multiple plugins in your newly created application. So this is not supported on Site Manager right now, but this is a good feedback. We can look into it. What you can do is that you can directly, if you launch a new application on the platform, you can go in its Site Manager tab. You can install the plugins right away through the dashboard. And if you are using Site Manager Pro, and you'll be able to install the plugins through Safe Update feature as well on demand. So this is how it will work as of now. But right now also in bulk, you cannot install the plugins on multiple applications as of now, but we are looking into it. This is in our roadmap where you will be able to bulk uh, install plugins and themes in multiple applications. This feature is not there. This feature is only available on individual sites. But for the centralized dashboard, it's not right now, but it's in our roadmap. So we'll look into it later on.
Perfect. The next question is, how do you restore from a safe plugin updates?
So we do not restore the site. Basically, how safe update work is that it creates a temporary staging environment. So the updates are first run on that temporary staging environment. If there's any issue identified there, it auto rollbacks that temporary staging environment that do not deploy that do not proceed further with the production environment. It basically do not even touch your production site. So there's no chance of breaking your production site at all. So it does not restore, but it auto rollbacks the operations that it performs on the staging environment. And then if only if the on the staging environment, the updates are successful, it will pass through the production site. And we haven't received any cases so far where the visual regression cycle was passed and it broke the production site, like the layout of the production site. So we haven't received any cases. We had been to public review preview for past 5 months. Our customers were using it, and so far we have never received such cases. So we are good to go with it right now.
So Saud Bread is asking, can I select one or five website to update everything on demand, basic or safe?
Yeah, obviously you can select from one individual site or five websites, like applications, and the plugin and themes update as well. And you guys can select multiple applications where you guys can perform basic or safe update right away through the centralized dashboard.
The next question is from Jen. If we are using on-demand safe updates, how resources intensive is that on our server?
So it doesn't take much of your server resources, but yes, there's one critical point that it depends on your application size and data it has. So whenever you
Yes.
start running a safe update on your website, then it might take some time. So it doesn't take much of your resources, but it might take your time depending upon the size of your application. If there's low site that has like very few plugins within it, and you run an on-demand safe update on that particular application, it might be completed into 2 minutes or 3 minutes, or it might take up to like 1 minute only. But if your website is heavy, it can take up to 10 minutes as well. So
I'm
this
broken
is
because I was a little worried.
Sorry, Danny, you had some question or?
Danny, if you have any question, you can simply write it down in the comment section. Meanwhile, we are taking the other comments as well. So the Taylor is asking, is the visual regression testing able to test views other than desktop?
So, yes, that's a good question. It's in our roadmap within the Q2 that will be right now by default, the desktop version of your application is only supported right now. But by the end of Q2, you will be able to see the visual regression test having an options of mobile and tablet views as well. So mobile and tablet views will be available by the end of Q2 or maybe by the start of Q3, hopefully. So this is already in our roadmap. We are working on it.
Perfect. So the last question is, can we also manage multiple applications?
Yes, multi-site applications are supported. So particularly what you guys can do is that's a good question. Let me show you guys. If your website is a multi-site application, what you guys can do is that you guys can define here the URLs, if like it's basically a network site, right? So you guys can define multiple URLs here through this visual regression, and it will perform like multi-site networks of your application. So multi-site is supported on Site Manager. But if you want to do safe updates on multi-sites and you have like subdirectories or subnetworks on your multi-site, so you can go ahead and define those subdirectories, or let's say within this add page area of visual regression. So it will take care of your multi-site network.
So we have two questions from Jen. So the one is, can you mix and match quick and save updates? For example, Yoast SEO updates just about every other day. Could I set that plugin for quick updates and a different plugin for the same site to use safe updates?
Uh, It cannot be like there's only one option available right now in auto updates area. Either you can set the updates schedule time with the safe update or quick update. There's no way where you guys can select specific plugins to be updated like quickly or updated like on safe through safe updates. If basically if you are using the safe updates feature like auto updates section, you guys can simply go ahead and with the safe update section, you guys can select safe updates in particular. But if you are going to run an on-demand update, let's say you want to update the plugins right away, so it's recommended to go ahead with the quick plugins. Let's say I have 4 plugins in my list. I want them to be updated right away. So I can go ahead and select those 4 plugins and select quick update once the update is completed, because it doesn't take much time. And then you can select the rest of the plugins that needs to be on through safe updated on demand. So the short answer is that you guys can perform like these options on demand through on demands, but it's not available through the auto updates.
Okay. Another question is, for visual regression, can we now add pages that are more than one level deep? For example, the domain name slash child slash grandchild. So the deep level of the application. Is it possible for the visual regression?
It should be possible, but I'll get back to you. I'll check it out as well. It should be possible to like select like a page within a page, or like URL, like let's say cloudkeeper.io/blog/contacts, let's say. So you can go ahead and add a page over there. But I'll check this out. It should be working. If it's not, then we'll get back to you.
Perfect. So the question is from Jamie regarding server resources. Do you need to have the HDD space available? For example, if my site is 20 GB in size, do I need to have another 20 GB space for safe updates?
So Jamie, we have pre-checks enabled on Site Manager. If your application is having resource crunch, or like there's no disk space available on your website, it's utilizing 100% of the disk. So the safe update feature won't be applicable in that area. So if the automatic update is scheduled, so it will go ahead and check your resources. If the resources are not enough, like it's 100% utilized, then it will let you know that there's no space left on your device. That is why the scheduled update couldn't be performed. So, and you guys can see that in the history tab. So it's not like that if your site is 20 GB, so you need to have another 20 GB for the safe updates, because it's like we create a temporary staging environment. Uh, it's not a something like we create an environment uh, like that's environment that's visible to you on the website, right? So Short answer is that yes, of course, there needs to be a space so safe updates can be performed, but it doesn't really needs to be like the same size of the application in particular.
Okay. So Brett is asking, how do I select more than one website for on-demand updates?
So let me show you. Just give me a moment. Let me show this how you guys can do it.
Meanwhile, you are looking for it, so there is
Hmm.
one more question if you can cover. If we already have save updates configured as they are currently, does that carry over to site manager save updates?
Sorry, come again. Let me go through this.
Yeah,
Uh,
if we already have save updates configured as they are currently, does that carry over to site manager save updates?
Yep. Basically, we have two plans right now for the safe updates. If you are a safe update customer, you guys can simply go ahead into safe updates. There will be a banner that will show you like migrate to Site Manager Pro. If you click on that, that will migrate your safe updates settings to the Site Manager Pro. And this will respect your auto updates schedule time, your plugins and themes that you have selected for the safe updates. But if you deactivate safe update first and then you activate site manager afterwards, like through single actions, then you will obviously be needing to update them, like re-update the settings of your safe updates. If you use the self migration banner within the safe update application, that will respect your application auto update settings. Also, we'll be initiating a soon we'll be initiating an activity where we'll auto migrate save update websites to Cloudways Site Manager. We'll do this and like time to time for the customers. We'll let you guys know when this will be when we start this activity and when this activity is expected to finish. So, but eventually, yes, we'll when we auto migrate your websites, they will respect your application auto update settings too.
Perfect. So, if you get a chance to,
Yeah. So let me share my tab. The question was that how can I choose multiple applications for a plugin to be updated, right?
yeah, similar kind of, how do I select more than one website for on-demand updates?
So yes, you guys can go ahead. Like let's say for my on-demand update, I want to go ahead and select multiple plugins, right? There are my multiple plugins that requires an update. I can simply click on these plugins, and if I go ahead with the drop down, and there are my these applications, right? So I can, let's say if I want to update this plugin on first two applications only, and I want this plugin is only available for one website. Here, my two websites are like checked for this plugin. I can simply go ahead with more applications. I can go through them. I can update this plugin for my these two applications only or these three applications, and I can click on update and choose the preference whether I want to go ahead with quick update or whether I want to go ahead with safe updates. So this is how it will work. Let me know if your query is covered or if like I misunderstood
Yeah.
it.
So the Brett has a follow-up question like, so the UI doesn't allow me to select two applications yet, only individual plugins. Consider this a feature request.
So what I understood from this is that within this overview tab, what you guys want to see is that you guys want to update all the plugins and themes on particular applications, right? So yes, this is a good feedback, and we can like this is a quick fix, and we can do it. So right now, this option is not available to if I select my application, like let's say this site manager application, you guys can see. Let me know if you are talking about this thing. If I can select my pro applications first. These are my two applications. You cannot update right now, like there's no update option available, but there's individual update option available, like manage updates area. And you guys can simply go ahead and click one by one. But what we can do is that simply provide you an option where you guys can multiple select your application and provide you a manage update area there, and you guys can manage them. So through the dashboard, right now you guys can manage updates right like this, but it's a quick fix. So we'll provide you this option soon. A good feedback. That's noted. Thank you.
Yeah, so Brett, we noted down your feature request and we definitely forward it to the product team and we try to provide it to the customers very soon. So we are done with the Q&A session. Thank you so much everyone for joining this webinar. We will definitely share the recordings and the presentation link with you all. Just give us some time. We will share the recording and the presentation link. And we are continuing this webinar series. So we will try to educate our customers on the new product launches. So if you have any requests for any product feature that you want to listen, want to understand, feel free to share the feedback with us. And again, thank you so much, everyone. Uh, have a good rest of the day. Take care, everyone. Bye.
Thank you guys. Thank you for having me and bearing me for this much time. Have a good day ahead. Goodbye.